Now, Mr. Rutte, you spoke about listening to the people, but in Holland, of course, in 2005, you had the vote a referendum on the constitution. That was ignored. We got the Lisbon Treaty, which was the constitution in another form. In 2016, the Dutch voted against the Ukrainian Association Agreement, and that's been ignored. The EU rule is to pay and obey. So if you can change that, then good luck to you. Now, Europe can have a great and prosperous future, but not if the European Union is planning it. The European Union is responsible for many of the problems that beset Europe, and your solution is always the same: to have more power. The European Union was always about creating an undemocratic state, a United States of Europe. And it's always been about deconstructing nation states and transferring political power to Brussels. That would be bad enough in itself, but you've actually made a complete mess of governing the member states. There are two areas in which this is obvious to the ordinary citizen: the economy and security. The creation of the euro was a political project, not an economic project, and was an entirely predictable disaster, and has brought about financial austerity and unemployment. The dead hand of European bureaucracy impedes business and makes it increasingly harder for small businesses to operate, to create new jobs and to grow prosperities. Your policies have blighted the lives of millions of people. Meanwhile, our security is endangered because of the results of mass immigration. Under Mrs. Merkel's leadership, you have brought in millions of people from Africa, the Middle East and beyond, and you intend to bring in millions more. You have turned many parts of Europe into foreign countries. You use the emotional blackmail argument of talking about helping defenceless refugee families, and yet the reality is that the vast majority of these migrants are young men from Islamic countries. This is not immigration, this is invasion. Traditionally, Europe resisted Islamic invasion. Heroic struggles in the siege of Malta at the gates of Vienna have now been replaced by abject surrender. Islam offers two options: submit or resist. You have decided to surrender and submit on behalf of your citizens, but some states are resisting. Rebellion is now stirring in Hungary, Poland, the Czech Republic, Austria and elsewhere. The tide is turning against the EU. And best of all, we have Brexit, a modern peasants' revolt against their out-of-touch overlords. When Britain leaves the European Union, we can point the way for a Europe of independent, democratic nation states. Most people want a Europe of genuine trade, friendship and cooperation. They do not want rule from Brussels.
Hear, hear. Well said, sir.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.